Recently, I was working with a B2B client and they have a problem that's not all that unique to them. In many cases in B2B, you have two target personas. You have the end user and you have the buyer, and they might both want or care about different things. So when you're doing your website copy and your blogs and your ads and your social media, which one of these personas do you target? I suggested we go with a framework which I dubbed the internal champion framework. And essentially this is to target the end user, not the buyer. And my reasoning for this is that end user is the one that's searching. They have the pain. Oftentimes their boss, the buyer, they don't necessarily have the pain. They're not doing the research. So what I noticed with a lot of B2B companies, they have so much information on their website. They have all these different features and blogs and case studies, white papers and videos. Now imagine for a moment, one of these internal champions, the end user, arrives at your website. They spend time doing all this customer research. They watch your videos, they read your blog, they go through all your different web pages, and they come to the conclusion that you're a company that could solve their problem, and you may want to consider actually adding this into your workflow. The only challenge is you're not a buyer, so you have to get approval from your boss. So what do? You go to the boss and you say, hey, I'm having this pain, this problem. Actually, a lot of people on our team are having this problem. I found a tool that's really cool. It could solve that problem. It's $600 a month per license, blah, blah, blah. The boss, of course, is going to do boss things and come up with some cost benefit analysis. But first, they're going to want to know a little bit more about the tool. Now, as a B2B company, do you want to leave it in the hands of this internal champion to communicate all the benefits and the unique value proposition to their boss? All that time and energy and research that you put in to make the copy on your website beautiful, to make that video, to describe in depth all the different benefits and features of your product? We didn't think so. So what we decided to do is create brochures, downloadable PDFs, 1 to 2 page max, that would basically be the highlight reel of all the different elements on our website that we thought would be factors into making a buying decision. So the idea there would be, the internal champion would download the PDF, send it to their boss, and they'd have a high level overview of who we are, what we do, what pain we solve, and our price. This was a complete experiment. We didn't know if it would work. Now, you might be thinking, well, if they can just send the PDF, why don't they just send the website? It's true, they could just send a link to the website, but there's so much information to digest on most B2B websites, and a lot of buyers maybe just don't have the time and energy to go through all this information like the person that had the pain did. They're probably going to spend fewer time reading the articles, they may watch the video, they may scan and skim some of the pages, and they're ultimately going to make a decision. So our theory was, let's help them make that decision easier by just giving them the highlights. So we had these beautifully designed PDFs and we placed them on high visible pages. We put them in the menus, sent them out via our newsletter. We had a lot of traffic on those pages and the downloads of the PDFs. And wouldn't you know, after running this experiment for 3 months, we saw an uptick of 8% in our conversion rate. We recognized that a lot of the buying decision is made over Slack in private conversations, and we wanted to be a part of that conversation.